in into 2019, and the professional wrestling scene is starting to get great with all the Elite Wrestling has been announced and launched, and WWE is not liking it one bit, given how the contracted wrestlers wanted to hop into AEW. Because All Elite Wrestling is like that smoking hot supermodel that everybody wants to be with. And WWE is the basic broad that nobody wants to be with. And let me tell you, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and Tony Khan, no, they got the clout here in North America. So much clout to the point that they're going to shake the entire foundation in the North American professional wrestling scene. Hi, this is HDX, and this is my 10 WWE wrestlers that I want to see in AEW or in the indie scene. Now, I'm going to go on the record as saying this is just my opinion for the list, so let's get into it. Number 10. Ty Dillinger. I know, it's a bit of a pun here. I just like to use number 10 for this, just for the heck. But in all seriousness, Ty Dillinger is one hell of a worker. One hell of a wrestler that knows how to get over with the fans. Especially what he did on NXT, when he finally found that groove with the 10 gimmick. Just saying 10, 10, 10, and everybody followed. But when he moved on to the main roster, I kind of felt like he got lost in the shuffle. He could have done so much if he was booked properly, but now he's just lost in the shuffle. I'm just hoping that AEW grabs him and utilizes him to his full potential. I feel like he was so awesome in NXT. Number 9, Zack Ryder. Honestly, this is one of the guys in WWE that's just been misused and miscast and being coasted for whatever reason. I mean, he was doing so well with the Hype Bros. I mean, when he was in the tag team with Mojo Rawley, and it fits him so well. I mean, we're back in NXT, but when he was in the main roster and they split him up for some weird reason, and they give him the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 34 only to lose it to Miz the following night, like, what the hell? Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks should give them a call. Number 8, Gran Metalik. That's right, the runner-up of the Cruiserweight Classic, which I really enjoyed, by the way. He is one hell of a talent from Mexico, and right nowadays, he seems like treading water at this point, especially being part of the Lucha House Party, which is, honestly, it's gotten a little bit nowhere at this point. Being part of the same tag team match that we've seen in Monday Night Raw for exactly 6 weeks in a row. Like, god damn. I know that the list is the wrestlers that I want to see in AEW in the indies, but I also want to see him back in the CMLL and I also want to see him kill it in the indies, just like with Rouge, Pentagon Jr., and Rey Fenix. I mean, Gran Metalik is gonna kill it. Coming up at number 7, we have a double, both Mike and Maria Kanellis. Honestly, those two could have been perfect in NXT after when they left Impact and Ring of Honor. But for some reason, they put him in SmackDown Live, and yet they didn't even get pushed. The main roster didn't give him any major program, any good program for that matter, to keep them productive. And still, they're just taking up space, to be honest. And it goes to show you that putting them on the main roster way too early instead of putting them in NXT right from the get-go is a big, big mistake. Now, having said that, I wanted to see them get back into the indies, possibly going back to Impact or either set anew in MLW. Now, number 6, Mickie James. It's a shame that Mickie James is one of these veteran female wrestlers that could have done so much better rather than just being one of Alexa Bliss's lackeys right next to Alicia Fox. It is just a waste, and I want to see Mickie James get out of the WWE and work on the indies and provide that leadership, that veteran leadership that the female divisions within these other promotions need. Maybe ROH's Women of Honor or AEW. Brandy Rhodes should give Mickie James a call once she gets released from her contract, so that way it can provide the veteran leadership that their women's division needs. Number 5, we got Gallows and Anderson, the Good Brothers, the Club. Now, it really frustrates me that one of the most badass and one of the most coolest tag teams in the wrestling world is being wasted and just not being utilized to their full potential, where they could have gone to a stable with either Finn Balor or with AJ Styles, to form their own Bullet Club within the WWE. And it's really frustrating that they didn't capitalize on it when the timing was right. These guys need to be in AEW. They need to go to AEW. Come on, Matt and Nick Jackson, give these guys a phone call. Number 4, The Revival. Now, this is another badass tag team that I love to watch in NXT. They were killing it in NXT. And now they're up in the main roster, just being lost in the complete shuffle, just being misused unfairly. Especially competing with the same tag team, the Lucha House Party that I mentioned before, for 6 weeks in a row in the same match. Like, what? The Revival deserve better than this. I hope and pray to Christ that they get released from their contracts sooner or later with all the buzz going on as of late. Go to All Elite Wrestling. You deserve better. Number 3, Shinsuke Nakamura. One of my personal favorites, a very charismatic, flamboyant, the greatest Japanese pro wrestler who was beloved in New Japan, and he was treated amazingly in NXT. And when he moved up to the main roster, like, there was so many things that the main roster creative just failed to capitalize on by not giving him the WWE title that they should have done and it felt like they got nothing else for him. It felt like the writing was on the wall. His contract expires in a couple of months, so I want to see him either go back to Japan or back to AEW. The King of Strong Style deserves the royal treatment that he deserves. Number 2, El Ídolo Andrade Cien, or Andrade. Because apparently WWE thinks, ew, Andrade Cien just rolls off the tongue way too long for anybody to remember, so we just shortened to Andrade. I mean, like, really, WWE? Are you really that inept? Come on. Now, rants about our names aside, you could tell Andrade Cien is just absolutely unhappy with the position that he's in the main roster. And I honestly hope he gets released from his contract so he can go back to Mexico and kick ass. And bring Zelina Vega with you. Zelina Vega is like the perfect mouthpiece when it comes to doing promos. So I want to see him killing it in Mexico and in Puerto Rico and hopefully to get to AEW. Who knows, La Sombra could possibly come back. And the number 1 is Finn Balor, formerly known as Prince Devitt. Was the ultimate badass in NXT that I grew in love with at the time that he was there. And then he moved up to the main roster. He had the Universal title. And then he got injured the following day. And the main roster creative lost faith in it. And they turned him into a joke. They basically turned him into a hollow shell of what he once was in NXT. Like, that just really pisses me off. Like, what? How could you, main roster creative? But hey, what do I know? You're just a bunch of inept jackasses. And now he's getting the Universal title shot at the Royal Rumble. And we know why they're doing it. Because they're incentivizing them not to leave the company to AEW. Honestly, it's not going to work. It's going to backfire in their faces. And that is my top 10 wrestlers that I want to see them released from the WWE. This is HGX signing out.